In this video, we are going to talk about the top 10 prisons in the world. So before starting this video, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. It is believed that every human has two faces, one, which is saint, and the other, which is dangerous. Spontaneous situations and circumstances in life highlight one of the two characters of the human. We are social animals where any indecent act can cause discomfort to another. Thus, to control the animal side of the human, he is chained by various rules and regulations, and to implement these rules and regulations, prisons and punishment becomes the easiest way. I will not go into the formal definition of prison and punishment, but the idea of punishment and prison is in the fact that human soul is always in search of freedom, comfortable life and leisure, so the best to make him repent on his act is to make him confined to such a place where he feels so uncomfortable, painful and disgusting that he starts repenting on his devilish act and pray for his death. So, we may also say that prisons are the way to hell, or in an optimistic way, a dungeon which leads to the heavenly world. The deterrent theory of punishment recommends such treatment which sets an example to others. We all must have experienced some or the other punishment in childhood which we still remember, and I am sure that the active reason of the punishment must have never been repeated again. These punishments either snatch away our freedom or give us some unlikely experience or make us to face some horrible thing which we generally fear or hate or avoid facing. This simple mantra, if magnified, result into prison. According to the above stated meaning of prison, the one which provides its guests with the most inhumane, insane and most cruel treatment is the worst prison on this earth. Here are the top 10 prisons in the world. Before we have a tendency to begin, why don't you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so that you never miss any of our videos. Let's begin. Number 10. La Sabaneta Prison, Venezuela. It is considered to be the most brutal prison in Venezuela. Basic tool of torture of this prison is ignorance of the prisoners, no medical aid is provided, and dearth of food is always there. Insanity is so prevalent here that once cholera wiped out 700 inmates. In 1994, 100 inmates were massacred here. Violence is another act prevalent here. Inmates are said to use any object near them as the weapon to attack each other. Competition for survival is found to occur over here. Meager availability of basic amenities of life lead to this competition. Number 9. Al-Hire Prison, Saudi Arab. Worst place in the Middle East. This place claims to break hardest of the criminals. Torture is the key to punishment in this prison. Inmates protest against these tortures. No matter the result of this protest is their death. In 2002, a fire lit by one of the inmates killed 140 of the prisoners and 40 guards. Number 8. Gitarama Prison, Rwanda. Tool of torture used by this prison is insufficient place to the prisoners. Basically designed place for 400 inmates is being filled in with 6,000 prisoners. Human feces is said to fill the occupied area, which cause gangrene to prisoners resulting into their death. Food is also provided in so much scarce that prisoners have been reported to eat each other's flesh out of desperation and stress. Most of the prisoners held here have committed genocide-related crime. Number 7. Derbakir Prison, Turkey. This prison is said to perform maximum violations of human rights per prisoner. Besides physical, mental torture and sexual abuse of the prisoners, the most dreading fact about this prison is that even children are also incarcerated for life without pity. This fact really makes this prison stand out of the list. Number 6. Lasant Prison, France. It is said that worst prisons occur in least developed countries. This prison of France is said to provide the most scary and mentally disintegrating place, which results into suicide by the prisoners. The worst part is that the way of committing suicide. The prisoners swallow rat poison, forks and even drain cleaners to put an end to their lives. More than 100 prisoners each year are reported to have committed suicide. Prisoners are said to cram clothes into the crack of their cells to prevent rats to enter. Most horrible part of human life is to become bait of these nibbling creatures. They must be like Satan for the prisoners. Number 5. Bang Kwang Prison, Thailand. It is very confusing to pick up which torture of this prison is worst. It is said that mental stress given is enough to make a person crazy within 1 month. Bangkok Hilton is known for its mental and physical torture. For the first 3 months of punishment the prisoners wear leg irons, and if capital punishment is not awarded these leg irons are permanently welded. It is considered to be the most brutal prison in Thailand. It houses many foreign prisoners and handles death row inmates. Number 4. Tadmor Military Prison, Syria. Amnesty International has declared this prison as the most oppressive prison of the world. It says that its each and every action is done to torture the prisoners. Executions are said to be done on a massive scale. One instance of the massive execution is done in June 1980, when President Hafez al-Assad ordered the killing of all the prisoners as retaliation for the attempted assassination on his life by the Muslim Brotherhood. The massacre program lasted for 2 weeks, which resulted in the death of around 2,400 inmates. Guards are famous for their uncontrollable cruel behavior towards inmates. They have said to cut prisoners with axes, tied up with rope and dragged around to death, and even this is not enough, they have also been reported to beat the prisoners with metal pipes. Number 3. Texas State Penitentiary, the USA. This prison is the proud executioner. It is said to execute maximum number of prisoners in the US, means any person getting admission to this prison will have maximum chance to get rid of his life. This prison can simply be called as the way to the other world. It is definitely an assurance to death. Number 2. Camp 22, North Korea. An isolated prison for political prisoner has been in operation since 1965. It has a large compound that can hold 50,000 prisoners. It must like a whole village of criminals. The most unique way of punishment of this prison is that dissident families have been imprisoned there for 3 generations, so that the whole family tree is removed from roots. Second tool of torture of this prison is that the inmates are used for human experimentation, where they are made lab rats for biological weapons like anthrax, bomb testing and other brutalities. What else can be worse for a person that he has been used for an experiment? A human who is the most superior creature of this earth is used for experiment. Number 1. Karandiru Prison, Brazil. It is famous for its tragedy of 1992, which is known as Karandiru Massacre. In this mass execution of the inmates was done by the guards. Drauzio Varela, a voluntary physician, in his book, Karandiru Station, mentioned his own experience and the dreadful condition over there. It has recorded 1,300 deaths in its 46 years of history. It was closed down in 2002. Surely it must have been the worst prison of the world, due to which Amnesty International came forward and asked about the Human Rights Violations Act done in the prison, which the Brazilian government failed to answer. Though this prison is termed as the topmost among the worst prison of the world, I think words are less to express the brutality experienced by the prisoners over here. Its history is well enough to tell the cruelty done by this prison. What do you think of our list? Which of the prisons shocked you the most? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.